So, hello ma'am, here's the video explanation for my laboratory number 5. So first I'm going to demonstrate again the working code. So first I'm gonna compile the code that I've written, then I'm going to execute it, and the input I'm gonna place again is just those that can be seen in the example in the activity guide. So I'm gonna input 12 and then the next number is 25. As couldn't be seen, the output is correct, and then I'm just gonna input another one, random one. So I'm gonna put 58 and 35, and I think the answer is the output is correct. So that would be all for the working demonstration. Now for the explanation of my code. So here's an overview of the code is this, and then now for this over here, for this first parts of the code are just some of the usual segment code that can be seen in an assembly code. So here are just some initialized memory for some data that stores some messages. Here for the prompt, and then here for the enter another prompt, and then here the AND, the OR, the XOR, and the IS message as can be seen in the instructions in the activity guide. And then here for the reserved spaces for the .bss, I reserved these three memory spaces, and I just labeled them as num1, which stores the inputted first number, and then for the inputted second number, and then it will store the result after each of the operations done to them. Then over here for the .text segment, all the instructions will start here, and then as usual, here's the setup routine that I just followed based from the book's author. And then over here is the printing of the prompt and the reading of the input. So here the prompt is stored in the EAX register and it will be printed, and then it will read the user input, and then the user input will be stored in the num1. And then after that, the same happens here. It will print the prompt, enter another number, and then it will print it, and then it will also read the integer inputted by the user, and then that inputted number will be stored in the num2. And then here the start for the operation, the AND operation to the first number and the second number. So here I just moved num1 to the EAX register. Then after that, I just ended them, the EAX, which shows num1, and then ended with num2, and then the result being the EAX register, and then I will store it to the result memory space labeled as result. And then after that, it will just print the printing for the output for the console program. It will print the num1, and then the AND for signifying the AND operation. It will print num2, and then it will print IS, and then it will print the result. And then that's for the printing for the result and AND. And then just similar things happen here for the OR, and then here for the XOR. Similar things happen to them as what I've explained in the AND routine. So for the OR routine, here num1 will be moved to EAX. EAX will store the value that's inside num1, and then it will be ORed, and then the result of that will be stored in the result, and then it will be printed. Similar thing as what I've explained earlier over here. It will print, and then will print that. It will print the num2 or the second number inputted by the user, and then it will print is, and then it will print the result of num1 and then num2. And then that's for the OR, and then lastly for the XOR. Here num1 will EX will store what's inside num1, and then it will be XORed to num2, and then the result will be stored in the result memory, reserved memory, which is labeled as result, and then it will print, and then it will print the first number, and then the AND symbol, print the second number, it will print the is, and then it will print the result. And then here the last part is just an exit routine from the author. And then that would be all for my laboratory number 5.